Most business owners think life insurance is just a bill, a premium you pay and hope you never use. And that's exactly why they're leaving millions on the table. Not just in premiums, but in taxes, liquidity, and long-term wealth. My business partner Mitch, Kenvin, and I bring over 40 years of combined life insurance and advanced wealth planning experience. And what we've seen is this. The wealthiest families use life insurance completely differently. They don't use it as a product. They use it as infrastructure. And today, I'm gonna walk you through the 10 biggest mistakes most business owners make with life insurance. And I'll also show you the 3 layers of what I call the insurance wealth stack, so you can stop leaving money on the table. And if you stick around until the end, I have a bonus mistake for you that most people completely overlook. Because once you see what the wealthy are actually doing, you'll never look at life insurance the same way again. If you're new here, my name's Jamal Hansen, Managing Partner and Chief Strategy Officer of Kenvin Hansen Family Office. Welcome. We work with self-employed professionals, and our goal is simple: to help you keep more, earn more, protect more, and own more. Layer 1 of the insurance wealth stack is protection. And this is where most business owners stop. And that's exactly where the first mistake begins, only thinking about term life insurance. Mistake number 1 is only using term. First, let's define it. Term life insurance is temporary coverage for a set amount of time, usually 10, 20, or 30 years. And if something happens to you during that time, your family, your business, or your beneficiaries receive a tax-free death benefit. But if the term ends and you're still here, so does the policy. That's why term is best for temporary liabilities. I have a client who runs an institutional real estate fund. And because of the size of the debt, the investor obligations, and the overall risk he's carrying, he has over $150 million in term life insurance. And that protection is there for a reason. It protects the investors, the lenders, and the overall value of the business itself. Mistake number 2, no business continuity plan. This is one of the most overlooked mistakes I see with business owners. Let's say you have a partner, right? What happens if one of you dies unexpectedly? I don't know, right? Most people never plan for this. And without a buy-sell agreement, the surviving owner can suddenly end up in business with the deceased partner's spouse, family, or estate. That creates immediate chaos, disputes, money problems, and in some cases, a forced sale. Now, let me simplify what a buy-sell agreement is. So, if your business is worth $5 million and you own 50%, there needs to be enough life insurance to fund the $2.5 million buyout. That way, the family gets paid fairly. The surviving partner keeps control and the business keeps operating. And depending on how it's set up, whether the business owns and pays for the policy or the partners own the policies on each other, there may be favorable tax treatment here, aka tax deductions. The goal here is simple: instant liquidity at the exact moment the business needs it most. Without this, ownership, enterprise value, and family legacy can vaporize overnight. Mistake number 3, no key person coverage. Every business has one person who drives most of the value. Sometimes it's the founder, sometimes it's the top salesperson, and sometimes it's the operator who keeps the trains moving on time. Now, ask yourself, what if that person disappeared tomorrow? What amount of revenue and production goes with them? This is a life insurance policy the business owns on the key person. If something happens to them, the payout goes directly to the business. That money helps absorb the shock. It can be used for anything to help your business stabilize and grow in a time of uncertainty. Because when a key person disappears, revenue drops right away, and the business needs cash to survive that change. For companies heavily dependent on one person, this is not optional. But here's where most business owners really start losing money. The second layer of the insurance wealth stack. Layer 2 of the insurance wealth stack, capital control. This is where wealthy families think differently. They don't just protect capital, they control it. Mistake number 4, leaving cash idle. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see. Business owners build retained earnings and then leave it in a checking account. That cash is dead. If you're not making 3% on your money, you're losing money to inflation. And this is where whole life insurance becomes a key part of the insurance wealth stack. Used correctly, it becomes a private banking system, a safe place where your capital grows tax deferred, stays liquid, and helps protect your capital. With a properly structured whole life policy, the mutual insurance companies pay an annual dividend of 5%, and many top mutual companies have been paying dividends for over 150 plus years in a row. So instead of letting cash sit idle and depreciate, your money keeps working quietly in the background. So, mistake number 5. Borrowing from banks first. This is one of the biggest mistakes in the entire wealth stack. Most business owners immediately go to the bank for real estate, for expansion, or for new opportunities. You may have heard of this concept. It's called infinite banking, a family bank, or a vault. It's all the same concept, an intentionally overfunded whole life policy designed to maximize cash value. You intentionally overfund the policy so more of your premium goes towards the cash value growth instead of just the death benefit. Then when an opportunity comes up, you borrow against that cash value instead of going straight to a traditional bank. And the money that you borrowed will continue to grow and compound inside of the policy. And one of the biggest advantages is speed and control. In many cases, you can access that money within 24 to 48 hours. No underwriting, no credit committee, and no waiting weeks for approval. That's why wealthy families use this as a private liquidity system, and then they pay the policy loans back, effectively paying their own family bank instead of paying interest and control to an outside lender. That's where the wealth really compounds, because now you're not just using capital, you're controlling the velocity of that capital. Mistake number 6, using your own cash. Sophisticated families use premium financing as part of the second layer of the insurance wealth stack. This is a huge leverage play. The easiest way to understand this is to think about buying a house. When you buy a home, you don't usually pay all cash. You put 20% down, or 10 to 15% if it's DSCR loan, right? Either way, you put 20% down and the bank covers the rest. Same idea here. With premium financing, instead of using all of your own cash to fund the insurance structure, the bank lends against the policy. The more collateral, liquidity, and strength you bring to the table, the more the bank is often willing to lend. I've seen some of these policies get 8 figures a year and funding from the bank. So wealthy families use the bank's money to fund a large policy while keeping their own money working in their business, real estate, or private investments. This is all about capital efficiency. Why tie up your own cash when it may be earning a much higher arbitrage somewhere else or return somewhere else? So in many advanced structures, this is often paired with a supercharged rate-boosted IUL policy, which I'll explain shortly. The reason is simple. They want market-linked upside with downside protection while using leverage. And yes, the interest cost may be deductible when it's structured properly through a business. Now, the real power here is the spread. If your capital earns more outside the financing cost, that spread becomes a wealth-building tool, and that is what the poor do not do. Layer 3 of the insurance wealth stack, tax and legacy. This is where life insurance stops being about protection and becomes wealth architecture, because all life insurance is tax-free. Mistake number 7. Missing tax-free growth. Now let's talk about IULs, which stands for Index Universal Life Insurance. An IUL is a permanent life insurance policy whose cash value growth is linked to an outside market index, most commonly the S&P 500. Now this part is important. Your money is not directly tied in the stock market. The index is simply the benchmark the insurance company uses to credit interest to your cash value. Now, most people like this because it gives you market upside with downside protection. If the market is down, many policies have a 0% floor, so you don't take a negative crediting that year. So if the market is up, you participate in the upside, subject to the cap and participation rates. Over time, many properly funded illustrations are often shown in the 6 to 9% range annually, depending on assumptions, fees, and the overall index. Now, here's where I want to be direct. I personally prefer transparent indexes like the S&P 500. I would be very cautious with proprietary indexes. A lot of these look extremely strong on paper because they rely on back-tested models rather than long live track record. That means the illustration can look better than what the future performance may actually deliver. So my view is simple. Use transparent indexes with real history whenever possible, because in advanced planning, clarity matters more than a pretty projection. This is why sophisticated owners use IULs as a long-term tax-efficient income and legacy layer. Mistake number 8, ignoring pre-tax insurance structures. Did you know you can actually buy life insurance inside of a retirement account? Like what? Yeah, most people don't know this. And this is one of the most powerful advanced tax planning layers inside the entire insurance wealth stack. This is where defined benefit plans and 412(e)(3) plans come in play. These are advanced retirement structures built for high earners, business owners, and self-employed professionals who want to redirect large amounts of taxable income, 6, sometimes even 7 figures a year. And here's where it gets powerful. Part of those pre-tax contributions can be used to fund life insurance inside of the plan. Think about what that means. You're using pre-tax dollars to lower your taxable income today while building a retirement structure and creating a death benefit at the same time. This is advanced tax mitigation with guarantees. For many high earners, this is one of the most powerful tax planning layers in the stack. And if you want a deeper breakdown of the retirement side of this, I actually have another video on this called Best Retirement Plans for the Self-Employed. So make sure you watch that after this one because it goes much deeper into defined benefit plans for 12E3s and how business owners can legally redirect large amounts of income away from taxes and into long-term assets. So mistake number 9, failing to retain top talent. I hate this, don't you? Right, executive bonus plans are another layer of the stack. This is how owners retain top talent. These are golden handcuffs. The company pays the premium, the employee receives the long-term asset after a vesting period. This is far more strategic than the cash compensation alone because you have access to that money and you can take it away. You can dangle this carrot in front of your employee, okay? And you can take it away like that. And if you're in a C Corp, you can deduct the premiums every year. Well, simultaneously, you technically own the policy and you can use that cash inside of it. So mistake number 10, no legacy plan. The final layer of the insurance wealth stack is legacy. This is where you stop thinking about just making money today and start building something that outlives you. And here's what most people don't realize. A lot of the biggest names in college football have split dollar arrangements built directly into their contracts. Elite coaches like Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, and Kirby Smart have sophisticated deferred compensation and split dollar style life insurance benefits as part of their compensation structure. Now, why? Because the people writing those contracts understand something most business owners miss. Life insurance is not just protection, it's a wealth transfer and legacy tool. This is where split dollar arrangements come in, advanced wealth transfer, estate planning, and family office level architecture. This is how corporate dollars are strategically moved into personal and family wealth structures. Because the goal is not just to earn income. The goal is to create a structure that keeps working for your family long after you've stopped earning income and long after you are gone. And that's legacy. Bonus, living benefits. Most people think life insurance only pays out when someone dies. But depending on the policy and the carrier, many modern policies allow you to access a portion of the death benefit while you're still alive if you go through a qualifying medical event. This could be something like critical illness, a chronic condition, or a terminal diagnosis. In some cases, it can also help you if you need long-term care or assistance with everyday living activities. So instead of waiting for a death benefit, the policy can provide liquidity at one of the most financially stressful times of your life. Now, think about that for a second. If something major happens medically, this can help cover medical costs, income disruption, and family support. It can also give your business breathing room during a time when cash flow may be under severe pressure. This is another reason I want people to completely reframe how they think about life insurance. It's not just about what happens when you die. It's about protecting your life, your family, and your cash flow while you're still here. So, here's the truth. Life insurance is one of the most misunderstood and abused financial tools in the world. Most people only see it through a negative lens. They think expense, premium, death benefit, but here's what most people don't realize. Life insurance actually predates the modern IRS tax code. Many of the core tax advantages people associate with life insurance today were built around a financial tool that had already existed for centuries. That's part of why it continues to be one of the most powerful and flexible planning tools available. The reality is there are so many creative ways life insurance can be designed and implemented inside of a business and personal wealth plan. The problem is very few people are creative enough or experienced enough to properly design and implement these strategies. And that's where the real value is. We specialize in taking these advanced concepts and designing structures that actually fit the way you earn, grow, protect, and transfer wealth. So, if you currently see life insurance in a negative light, I want you to reframe the way you think about it. Stop seeing it as a bill. Start seeing it as a creative wealth building tool. Because once you understand the possibilities, it stops being a cost and starts becoming infrastructure. And the real question is not, do I have life insurance? The real question is, what opportunities am I missing by not using it creatively? So, if you want help building your insurance wealth stack the right way, from protection and liquidity to tax mitigation and long-term legacy planning, my team and I would love to help. Either click the link below to apply to work with us or head over to my Instagram at Jamal_Hansen and send me a DM with the keyword life. We'll help you see exactly where your money may be leaking and how to structure it the way wealthy families do. Thank you.